Hello and welcome to Victoria's English. I am a teacher of English to speakers of other languages. Um, I'm going to respond to your questions about how to learn English as a second language. To answer your question, I am going to explain to you how I learned other languages or how I became familiar with other languages besides um, my native languages, English and Sesotho. So let's begin with a story. I grew up in Southern Africa in the Kingdom of Lesotho, and at that time, most of my neighbors spoke more than two languages. So imagine growing up in a village where you are surrounded by multilingual people. Um, and as I grew older, I started visiting with family members in South Africa. And in South Africa, I would be surrounded by people speaking more than 10 languages. And so, living in these kinds of environments created that pressure for me to want to know, to just to want to learn what was happening around me. But most importantly, during the apartheid system, it was almost a survival matter to to know what your neighbor is up to, and you wouldn't know that if you didn't understand their language. So I almost familiarized um, with some of these languages out of necessity. Another story involves my grandfather. In Lesotho, your father's brother is called your grandfather. So one of my grandfathers was a shift manager at Harmony Gold Mines, and so he taught himself how to speak Afrikaans. And I asked him, Grandpa, how how did you manage this? And well, what he explained to me was that most of his colleagues at work spoke Afrikaans and other tribal languages. But the reason he wanted to learn Afrikaans was that he wanted a high ranking position at work, and the people in those positions only spoke Afrikaans, and they wouldn't talk to you if you didn't speak Afrikaans. So he decided to learn. But so, based on these two stories, I would say that my assessment is that in order to learn a different language, another language, first, you must really want to learn that language really badly. And number two, it must be enjoyable for you to learn the language. Um, I may want to learn a language, but if it's just too much trouble trying to learn, then there's going to be some challenges. And number three, set some time aside to practice. Don't just depend on, taking a formal lesson. You have to be motivated to learn the language outside the classroom. Listen to the radio, immerse yourself in the communities that speak these languages, read the news in your language of interest, find a practicing partner. Okay. And I would also encourage traveling to to a country where your language of interest is spoken. If you like German, maybe travel to Germany. If you like French, travel to France. If you like Sesotho or Xhosa or Zulu or Tswana, travel to South Africa or travel to Lesotho if you want to hear the native Sotho language. Well, these are some of my my tips, my ideas. I'm sure that if you go online, you'll find other suggestions, but it all comes back to you. You must be sitting in the driver's seat. You can't be a passenger if you want to learn another language. I'll see you soon, and I look forward to continuing our lessons today at Victoria's English. I'll be right back.